If you're a long-term viewer of my channel, you'll know that the 12th Doctor's era is one of my absolute favourites from all of Doctor Who history. It's a controversial opinion, I know, but I genuinely do love it. It's an era full of brilliant stories, often with a moral, social or political subtext, with some great companions and fantastic performances throughout, especially by Capaldi himself. Here are 5 of my favourite 12th Doctor stories. At number 5, I've gone for Extremis, one of the era's more intriguing stories. It's a Bond-esque thriller, centred around the simple mystery of the Veritas, and why everyone that reads a copy of it commits suicide. It's gripping throughout, keeping the viewer guessing till the very end what's real, what's not real, and what's really going on. And it also brings into play many political and religious ideas, giving a lot of food for thought. It's a very thought-provoking story. Quite dark as well, with adult tone, adult themes, very gritty really. But most of all, it's unique. It's a completely different type of story in terms of style to those seen previously up to this point in Series 10, and I think it works all the better for it. In 4th place, I've put the Series 9 opener, The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar. Now this is a story that I absolutely adore. It seeks to explore the nature of friends and enemies, of good and evil, and what defines one from the other. And to do this, it features 2 of Doctor Who's most famous enemies, Missy and Davros. But in this story, they're both presented in a more sympathetic light than we've seen in previous episodes. And this suggests that there's more of an ambiguity between friends and enemies than there might first appear. Indeed, the Doctor himself says that an enemy is just a friend you don't know yet. That line is just one example of the stellar dialogue in this story, whether it be the serious debates between the Doctor and Davros, or the comedic turns between Missy and Clara. All the main cast are on top form, giving some very memorable performances. And the ending is just so very Doctor Who, as I believe so much of the Capaldi era to be. Always mercy, that line that the 12th Doctor says right at the end of The Witch's Familiar. It's a precursor in a way, I think, of the 12th Doctor's later speech about being kind in Series 10, and really sums up one of the aspects that the show is about, in my opinion. In 3rd place is Listen, another story that for me really embodies what Doctor Who is about. It tells us that it's okay to be scared, because scared is a superpower. It's also a very truly psychological story, I think. It highlights why the Doctor should never travel alone, and in turn celebrates the role of the companion, Clara, who plays a pivotal role in this story because she goes back in time and influences the younger Doctor, a sort of bootstrap paradox, if you will. Now some fans frown on this scene, they think it's inappropriate for Clara to have so much influence on the Doctor. However, I think it's a beautiful scene. I like the cyclic nature of a character from the current era of Doctor Who going back to interact with and inspire a Doctor or another character from a previous era. In doing this, Moffat is not only celebrating Doctor Who's rich past, but also using it to inspire new storylines. And I just love that interaction between past and present eras of the show. Like I say, it emphasises Doctor Who's rich history, it celebrates it, and just provides a really good example of what a Doctor Who story should be, if that makes sense. At number 2 is the Series 9 finale. Yes, I've grouped those 3 episodes, Face the Raven, Heaven Sent and Hellbent, together because I think they're all brilliant and they all form the story of the Doctor and Clara's friendship, in essence. That's what it's about. It's about the danger of that partnership and why their friendship must be stopped. Face the Raven is a story that sees the consequences of Clara going too far, her arrogance leading to her undoing. In Heaven Sent, the Doctor is alone again, as he was in Listen, and this experience of being in the confession dial relentlessly drives him to nearly becoming the hybrid in Hellbent. Hellbent is another one of those stories that, for me, encapsulates what Doctor Who is. Like the Series 9 opener, it's essentially about friendship, this time the friendship between the Doctor and Clara. Again, like with Listen, there's a beautiful parallel with the past. The scene where Clara gets her own TARDIS parallels with the Doctor getting his own TARDIS at the start of his travels, and the whole thing of escaping from Gallifrey. It's another great example of Doctor Who looking to the past, but also being inspired by it to, create a new story and to move forwards. I think the Series 9 finale as a whole was just absolutely spectacular. A fitting end not only to the series, but also to the Doctor and Clara's time together. And my very favourite 12th Doctor story? Well, again, I've cheated and bunched 3 stories together here. World Enough and Time, The Doctor Falls, and Twice Upon a Time, the 3 stories that form the 12th Doctor's swan song. There's the terrifying World Enough and Time, with its disturbing imagery and shocking cliffhangers. Then The Doctor Falls, a story which absolutely, more than any other, sums up the core values of the show, specifically in the form of the Doctor's speech to the Masters about being kind, about doing what is right. And then there's Twice Upon a Time, less of a story in its own right, more of an epilogue to the era that attempts to answer once and for all what the distinction between good and evil is. It's a fitting finale for a Doctor that started off not knowing whether he was a good man. There's a stark contrast between how he appears in those early Series 8 stories and how he is here, confident that being kind is all that really matters. For me, these episodes really define what Doctor Who is, more than any other, and I know I've said that about a lot of episodes on this list, but this really is the pinnacle of the Capaldi era, and the pinnacle of what Doctor Who is, in my opinion. They're truly inspiring on a personal level for me. They've really defined what Doctor Who is for me, and you know, my own vision of what Doctor Who should be. And for that, you know, I'm grateful to those stories, grateful to the era. It's done a lot for me. It's inspired me in many ways, and I think that it is Doctor Who at its very best. So there we have it, my favourite 12th Doctor stories. Which ones would your favourites be? You can let me know in the comments section below, and I'll be sure to take a look and maybe reply and debate and etc. etc. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you very soon for some more new videos. But for now, remember to run fast, laugh hard and be kind. Goodbye for now, folks.